From the moment Melissa stepped out of her parents' small apartment in the heart of Nairobi, she carried herself like someone who knew her worth. She had grown up around chaos, honking matatus, quarreling neighbors, and endless competition at school, yet she always found calm in her own way. "Life is noisy enough," her late mother used to say. "You don't have to add to the noise." Melissa took that to heart. She was firm, principled, and quietly confident. She never chased popularity, yet people were drawn to her steady energy, a mix of kindness and discipline. After graduating from university and landing a decent marketing job, she met Daniel. He was soft-spoken, thoughtful, and unlike the usual loud characters who tried to impress her. Their friendship blossomed naturally. Coffee dates turned into long evening walks and soon into love. Daniel came from a well-known family, educated, well-off, and proud of it. Melissa, on the other hand, came from modest roots, but her humility and intelligence shone through. When he proposed, it felt like a fairy tale, a simple dinner, candlelight, and a heartfelt promise of forever. Their wedding was beautiful but simple. Melissa chose elegance over extravagance, something Daniel admired. But not everyone celebrated with the same sincerity. His mother, Mrs. Kelly, smiled in public but questioned privately. "Are you sure this is the woman for you? She's too quiet, too plain." His sister, Cynthia, was worse, constantly comparing Melissa to her wealthy friends' wives. And then there were the friends, the ones who laughed too loudly at parties and whispered too softly behind her back. At first, Melissa tried to win them over. She'd cook, smile, and host politely. But she soon realized no amount of kindness could melt envy. They didn't dislike her for what she did. They disliked her for who she was. Calm, content, and unbothered. So one morning, after another snide comment from her sister-in-law about her cheap handbag, Melissa decided to stop trying. She looked in the mirror and whispered to herself, "Happiness is not something they give. It's something I choose." That day she started living differently. When the in-laws visited unannounced, she welcomed them warmly but no longer bent backward to please. If they criticized her cooking, she smiled and said, "Maybe next time you'll teach me your way." When friends compared husbands, houses, or handbags, she simply listened and changed the topic. At first, Daniel didn't understand. "Why don't you defend yourself?" he'd ask. She smiled gently. "Because peace is more expensive than pride." He thought about that for a long time. Years went by. While others chased appearances, Melissa built a quiet home full of love and laughter. She decorated her little living room with art she painted herself, filled their evenings with music and prayer, and taught her children that joy is not found in possessions but in perspective. Her calmness confused people. Some mistook it for weakness, but Daniel saw the strength behind it. When his mother tried to pull him aside with complaints, he started defending Melissa. Slowly, even the critics began to notice. She never quarreled, never gossiped, never threw shade, yet her happiness remained untouched. Her friends, the same ones who had whispered once upon a time, began visiting more often, this time for advice. "Melissa, how do you stay so calm when people provoke you?" one asked. "By remembering they're not the source of my joy," she answered softly. One evening, after 10 years of marriage, Daniel came home from work visibly shaken. He had overheard 2 colleagues mocking his wife, saying she wasn't ambitious enough and just stayed home doing nothing. He confronted them angrily, but later that night, he sat quietly watching Melissa prepare dinner, humming to herself. "Do you ever feel bad about how people talk?" he asked. She smiled, stirring the pot. "No, love. People talk from where they are, not from where you stand." That simple sentence stayed with him for years. Time, as it always does, revealed everything. Cynthia, the once boastful sister-in-law, went through 2 broken relationships and later confessed to Melissa how she envied her peace. "You made it look so easy," she said tearfully one afternoon. "It wasn't easy," Melissa replied. "I just refused to let bitterness take root." Daniel's mother, now older and softer, began to appreciate her daughter-in-law's patience. During family gatherings, she would often tell others, "Melissa taught me that silence can be louder than argument." Even Daniel's friends, those who once laughed, now sought her opinion on relationships and balance. One of them, after a messy divorce, told her, "You were right. Peace is everything." One Sunday morning, Daniel stood before a group of friends at a reunion and shared something unexpected. "When I married Melissa, I thought I was choosing a wife. I didn't know I was choosing a teacher. She taught me that happiness isn't built on wealth or approval. It's built on choosing peace daily." Melissa blushed, embarrassed by the attention, but deep down she was grateful. She had spent years minding her own path, planting kindness where others planted gossip, and protecting her peace like treasure. She realized that her happiness had not been an accident. It had been 1,000 small decisions. To forgive, to let go, to smile instead of argue, to walk away instead of fight. Now in her 40s, Melissa often sits by her garden in the quiet of dawn, watching her children, now grown, laugh and play when they visit. Daniel joins her with coffee and admiration in his eyes. "Do you ever regret not fighting back?" he asks occasionally. She shakes her head gently. "Fighting might have won moments. Peace won me years." They sit in silence, the morning sun wrapping them in gold. Around them, the world still buzzes with drama, envy, and noise, but their home stands like an island of calm. Melissa later starts a small online community for women called Peace Within. She shares her story, reminding them, "The world will always test your peace. People will provoke you, question you, even misunderstand your silence. But happiness is not in how they treat you. It's in how you treat yourself." Thousands of women follow her posts, inspired by her grace. And when her daughter, now a young woman, asks one day, "Mama, what's the secret to being happy?" Melissa smiles, eyes soft with wisdom. "The secret, my dear, is no secret at all. Happiness is a choice. Choose it daily, even when it's hard. True strength is quiet. True victory is inner peace. Happiness doesn't come from the absence of storms, but from the decision to dance through the rain with your soul intact."